Okay, so I think we might as well get started. You've got the attendees. Thanks for everybody for making sure you're in there. I'm happy to take the notes. Don't see any new faces. So to start with, are there any strategic level things we should chat about? I know, I don't know, Costas, would it make sense to have an update at all on where we're at with multi-arch or?
Yeah, not much progress. Like at least we have the stacks, and the next step is to patch jam in order to propagate the arc attribute. And I thought I had patched jam, but eventually it was a bug. Not a bug, actually. I got confused with artifacts locally in my PC, how Go generates them, and I thought it was patched, but eventually it was not patched. Anyway, so I have this thing to do, which won't be much, and then
Is this when it's like updating the build packs or something else that it's propagating that arch?
it's what do you mean? What do you mean updating the build packs?
We said like it's jam when it's propagating the arch. Is that like, I guess, is it when you're building something with jam, or because I know jam also
I
does,
see.
I think jam also is used to update dependencies and stuff,
Yeah,
isn't it?
actually, yeah, it has many functionalities. It's
Yeah.
specifically when it packages it. So when it packages it,
Okay.
you want to it recreates the buildpack.toml, and this in this
Right.
buildpack.toml the arc attribute is not there, which means that
Right. Okay.
Jam needs an update on that side.
Okay.
And
Because
that's it.
yeah, there was I remember some sort of update like that, but it must have been for one of the other things that jam does.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like I thought that I had patched it, but I thought it was already patched, but eventually I got confused and it wasn't patched, so then now I have to patch it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
Okay. Any other sort of strategic things? No. Okay. I guess the one I've heard mentioned a few times in the main build packs meeting is related to what's the alternative to Packet? It's
Pack, you mean? You mean the
yeah,
pack?
or the alternative to Pack. It's like there's the one that the Java team, the Java
You mean create package, you mean?
not that one. No, it has to do with like, it has different logging, and
Oh,
it's kind of like there's two stacks for building build packs,
It's
right?
a
There's
libpack.
one
The libpack
libpack.
library or
Yeah,
a
libpack.
package library. Yeah, those two.
Right. So I guess that would be the other one is like, does it make sense to consolidate on libpack, right? I don't know if anybody's, I thought Ralph, maybe at one point you were
Yeah,
looking at, but
but from time to time we are looking within team into it. The problem is, right, like Costas even said, that packet does Gem does a lot of things, and
right.
therefore it relies on some functionality of packet of packet. And if we would switch to libpack, for example, the problem would be that we might destroy the update case. So we have to keep in mind what the library are used for. So it's not
Okay.
only the packaging, but also the updating. So switching the library is not that easy.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, but we're looking into it how probably the ultimate goal would be to use only one library. Therefore, to make our life easier, not handle libpack and packet, but yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, yeah, let us know if there's anything new on
Yep.
that front. Okay, I'm gonna open up the issues tagged for discussion. I don't see anything recent at all. So what was this one?
Yeah,
And I think,
just
go ahead.
just an update that Packet was using, I think I was using a hard-coded implementation of Shift, and I think can't remember who was it, but he updated the implementation.
Johannes, I
Johannes,
guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. And he updated the implementation, and now this means that we can update all the Go dependencies from Node engine, from npm start, npm install, and stuff like that. I mean, if you remember, Michael, in the past that it was like 65 updates pending
Yep.
to GitLab. So now we were able to merge this PR, and I merged that yesterday. And due to Shift had a major update from 3 went to 16 version, and due to there were so many dependencies, I bumped a major version. I thought that this is like a best practice. I mean, I couldn't put it as patch at least, or so like.
Certainly, if any of them were major, it should have been a major for sure. So.
Sounds fair, yeah.
Okay, so but that means that like the problems related to to like there were some dependency problems that were causing updates, and so now you're saying those have all been resolved.
Yes, due to this from Johannes pull request.
Okay, that's great news.
Like, yeah, that's really good. Actually, was so happy.
Any other updates like that make sense to cover in the tagged issues? Oh, right, yes. So, okay, if not, any other issues we should go through? I think the main thing I know people are working on is the multi-arch versus anything else. So we've probably covered that. I guess if not. And similarly for open mic questions and so forth. I guess if not, then that was a good short meeting. We've covered all the things we should chat about. And I guess maybe it does remind, sorry, I should have on the multi-arch side of things. I think, Ralph, you mentioned you were going to look at like the Node engine and Jam, not Jam, and Yarn, which required some version, like
the dependency, yeah.
the dependency update.
I was kind of blocked in this because of Packet used internally some lib dependency library, which was on some private org. For my name, I don't even recall who was a former member of Paketo, but I guess in the meantime it was put forked into the Paketo. So the lib dependency now, all dependencies should be in there. And I think for the multi-arch that would have to change as well, because when you use then gem for updating dependency, gem should know that only how the arc specific URL would look like for a new thing and hash them. So each version appears actually twice, once for ARM and one for MD, for example. And right now, Gem always assumes that the newest version should be in there once. But now, with the change, the newest version should be in there twice, I guess, or at least for each architecture. And therefore, this, I guess it's called lib dependency, has to be slightly adapted as well, but now that it's part of the Paketo org, shouldn't be a problem.
So you're saying just for the minutes, it's Gem, like GEM is the name of the package?
No, the Gem,
Or Jam, oh, sorry, Jam, yeah, okay.
Gem is used for updating dependencies, and therefore, it's getting the meta. It's a bit complicated. So Gem is updating the Buildpack toml with some metadata, and the metadata is created within the Buildpack, and therefore the lib dependency tooling is used. So the metadata should then contain both architectures, and then Gem obviously have to know what to do with those two lines.
Okay.
Okay, and lib dependency was the one that was not part of the org?
Yeah, I guess lib dependency it's called, yeah.
Okay, so but now it's part of the org.
Now it's part of the org, yeah, and there was already one release, so it should not be any blocker anymore.
Okay, so it basically assumes only the latest should be included, but we need one per arch. Okay, so that means that you can start to make progress on that one again.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay. So you mean that Jam has to, the final output of Jam has to be like two CNB files, one for AMD and one for ARM64, and for on each .cnb package, it has to have only one architecture
No,
of
I'm talking
dependencies.
about the updating use case. I don't know how the subcommand, I can't recall how the subcommand in Gem is called, but if you use Gem for updating the Buildpack terminal, it relies on the fact that the metadata JSON it received had one line, one entry per dependency or per version, but now the key actually is no longer the version, but combination of version and architecture. So
I see. Okay.
the things like the char and the UL and so might be or definitely different between different architecture. Also, it's the same version.
So it really means like lib dependency, I think, which if I understand was what processes that needs to understand arches.
Yeah, exactly. Then, yeah. And then put it to the metadata terminal, and then probably Gem has to figure out what, because then what Gem is doing is it checks the metadata JSON it receives and then updated the Buildpack terminal accordingly. But now it has to find the correct entry depending on the arc. So for the ARM case, it has to only update the ARM dependency, and for the AMD case, only the AMD dependency. So yeah, but it's ongoing.
And does Jam uses the lib dependency, or I mean,
I guess the lib dependency is used for on the Buildpack side for creating the metadata JSON in the first place. And once the metadata JSON has been generated, this file is passed to Gem, as far as I recall.
Okay. I will. So it should be on its build pack, I guess.
Yeah, on the
Or
build
Node
pack.
engine.
And if you look at where you see it, the best, I guess, is if you look at the GitHub workflow for updating the Buildpack terminal. You
Oh, I
see
see.
that first some binary, I don't recall the name, is called for generating the metadata JSON, and then this file is passed to Gem
Okay.
to update the Buildpack terminal.
I'll take a look. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, that was just the other thing I thought would be good to touch on. Anything else before we close out?
No, not from my side.
Okay, if not, great. We'll see you
Okay,
all in GitHub in a couple weeks.
then
Thanks.
see you.
Yep, bye.